Welcome! Today we are going to talk about how to check your chain slack and adjust it if necessary. It's actually a pretty simple process, but you will need a few tools to make this work. To start with, you are going to need a tape measure or a ruler, but the tape measure is actually recommended at least to measure to get the middle distance between your two sprockets. If you have one, a slack tool. That makes things a lot easier than using a tape measure. For your 2020, 2021, probably other generation Ninja 1000s, you will need a size 8 hex socket and a size 12 hex socket. You will also want a socket wrench and a torque wrench. So let's get started. Okay, so you want to check your chain slack. According to the service manual, every 600 miles. It's actually best to check it before every ride. Matter of fact, it actually says on the swing arm to check before every ride. But you want to check, make sure it's within specs. So what are the specs? Well, your manual will tell you, or your bike may have come with the decal. Okay, so what this says here is drive chain slack should be checked before each ride and adjusted if outside of normal adjustment range, which is 20 to 30 millimeters or 0.8 to 1.2 inches. To check slack, measure slack midway between the sprockets while it is sitting on its kickstand. You may see that I have this up on my rear paddock stand, and that is only for videoing. The first thing you want to do is you want to find your distance between your sprockets. So this point and this point. And you want to go halfway in between when measuring the chain slack. This is where your tape measure comes in. So if you measure, we end up at 22 and a half. What's 22 and a half divided by 2? 11 and a quarter. So you can measure from either direction, but you want to end up measuring your chain at about 11 and a quarter N. So on my bike, that is roughly halfway through this part of the label. So we're going to measure right about here. Now, if you don't have a measuring tool, you can use a tape measure. So I will show you how to do this. But I will say the slack adjustment tools or measuring tools are cheap and well worth the money. But the easiest way I've found when using a tape measure is go and lift your chain up to the high point, okay? And just drop it down. So you've got it at the high point, and push your chain down. You want about 10 pounds of pressure. You don't want to push it really hard, and you don't want to be too soft. You want about 10 pounds. So you're estimating here. But from the top to about 10 pounds of pressure, we're at, I would say somewhere between 1 3/8 and 1 1/2. We want to be under 1 1/4. Actually, 1 and probably an 8. I'm sorry, I don't know what 1.2 inches is. But either way, we have too much slack. So we need to tighten this up. So that's how you check with a tape measure. Not the most accurate, but it does work. Then you have your slack measuring tools. These things are great because all you have to do is pop the one end on the chain, lift it up to the high point. Remember, about 10 pounds of pressure. And then, so raise it up so it touches, push it up, raise it up so it touches. Then you want to drop this down. Okay. And then let the slack out. About 10 pounds of pressure. And we are, on this tool, it is millimeters. And we're at 31 and a half, which we want to be within 20 and 30. So we're a little high. And I like to put because I'm not doing any kind of special stunting, strip or drag racing, or any kind of track racing, just regular road racing. I want to hit for about the middle. So I want to be about 25 millimeters with this tool. To adjust your slack, you're going to take your size 8 hex socket and you're going to hit this right here. It is going to be a little tough. Okay? And just loosen it. You don't need to take it out. And you want to do it on the other side too. Okay, there's one in the exact same spot on the other side. And it is important that you loosen them both. So the way Kawasaki designed this is he twists this to tighten and loosen. All right? So when you twist this, it twists both sides so that your wheel stays in alignment. That's why you need to undo your other one. Otherwise, you might actually twist this to where it won't stay in alignment. And we will check wheel alignment here in a little bit. But this is where you're going to take your size 12 and on this side, so the left side of the bike, clockwise tightens, counterclockwise loosens. So we don't need that much. So we're just going to twist it just a little bit. And you don't need to tighten up the bolts here to check. So we're going to zoom out. Okay. And we are going to check our measurement again. Push it up, about 10 pounds of pressure. Raise this up, okay? Push it up, 10 pounds of pressure. Drop that down and hold it to the swing arm. And pull it down about 10 pounds of pressure, okay? And then you're going to read it. So we're a little under 30, so I didn't tighten it up quite enough. So we're just going to tighten it a little more. Because again, I want about 25. So we're going to check it again. Place this tool on your chain. Lift the top piece up. Put about 10 pounds of pressure on the bottom with your fingers. And lift this up to the swing arm. You push this thing down, which sets it to 0. And then drop the chain down. Whoop. Make sure you stay on the swing arm. And check it. Now I tightened it a little too much. Now I'm about 22. So I'm going to back it off just a little bit. Because I'm picky. I'll probably be going right back to where we were. Just a little bit. There we go. And we'll check it again. Always check in the same spot. Okay? So 10 pounds of pressure. Bring this up to the top. Zero that out. Drop it down. About 10 pounds of pressure. And we are right at 25. Right where I want it. Okay? So once you have it where you want it, go ahead, switch out to your 8 and get them tightened just slightly tight, okay, on both sides. And this is where we're going to go check our wheel alignment before we torque things down. Okay, so your wheel alignment is critical for safe riding. And Kawasaki made it really easy. There's one of these on the other side, which I'll show you. And what you want to do is you want to count. See these notches? You have a center notch right here. Okay? You want to count these notches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and about 3/4. from the front to the back. And that's important because whenever you're tightening or adjusting the wheel alignment, you turn these the same direction on both sides. So what I mean by that is clockwise on the left to tighten, counterclockwise on the right to tighten. So you're rotating the same, you can't see my hands. You're rotating the same direction, like the wheel spins. You're rotating the same direction. So let's go check the other side. And this is going to be dark. I apologize. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3/4. Not just the same. So the wheel is aligned. We do not need to adjust the alignment. I will cover that in a different video because it's there's more to it. And we're just talking about chain slack here. But this is part of the process. When you adjust chain slack, you're adjusting things that might knock your wheel out of alignment. So you want to double check. And now that your wheel alignment is right, we want to torque things down. So you want to switch your 8mm over to your torque wrench. Now for me, I have to use an adapter because my torque wrench is 1/2 inch. My 3/8 inch torque wrench does not go high enough. You need 48 foot-pounds of torque or 65 Newton meters. Okay? So you're going to go ahead, set your torque wrench to 65 Newton meters or 48 foot-pounds. Torque it down. Torque the other side down. And there you go. Now we are going to drop the bike off the stand and check it again. Because you want to measure this on the kickstand. So now you might not see as well, but I think I covered all the main parts. So we are going to check and verify. I know you're probably getting tired of this, but I'm going to do it again. Want to be at the same spot. Bring it up. Raise this to so about 10 pounds of pressure. Raise this to the swing arm, okay? Drop this down so it zeroes out. Then pull this down. Oop. I'm going to redo that. These tools do get a little, take some getting used to. So you want to practice, but bottom line, put it in the same spot all the time. Raise it up about 10 pounds of pressure and get the top to the swing arm. Drop this down to zero it out and pull down about 10 pounds of pressure. And you'll see we're right. And this is where the pressure can give and take a little bit, which is where it's actually nice to be in the middle. But about 10 pounds of pressure, and I'm about 25. Couple things you may want to do in the service manuals and manuals and stuff. It actually says to try and find the tightest spot on the chain to measure from. Well, I got to tell you, you can swing this whole wheel around, hit every part of this chain, and it's always in about the same spot. You hear about the 3-finger rule. I'd rather be accurate. So this is pretty easy. And before each ride, it's not that hard to go down here. Once you familiarize yourself with the middle, for me, it's right here on the label. You just take a couple seconds. It's less time than it takes to check the air pressure. Zero it out, pull down, about 10 pounds of pressure, and just make sure you're within spec. And then you're good to go. So a couple other notes. The tighter the chain, the more wear. So the more wear your chain's going to have, the more wear your sprockets are going to have. The looser the chain, the more give there's going to be, and the higher likelihood it's going to jump the sprocket and come off. So, like I said, I prefer to go dead in the middle, but you adjust it to where you want. based on your riding style and preference. And that's all there is to it. Again, make sure everything's torqued down. 48 foot-pounds, 65 Newton meters for your bolts. If you need to adjust your wheel alignment, as I said, there's more to it. But you're going to get a new one of these clips because you're going to replace it. You're going to pull it out and you want to replace it. And you're going to end up loosening your wheel bolt on the other side. And you're going to adjust it so these marks line up. And then your wheel will be in alignment. Then you put your new clip in, torque it down. I think it's 100 Newton meters. I can't remember the foot-pounds right off the top of my head. And torque it down, then your wheel will be in alignment. So that's all there is to it. Again, I will make another video on wheel alignment. This is for the chain. If you have any questions, please let me know. And thank you for watching. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I will try and answer everyone's questions as soon as possible. If there's anything you'd like to see, any tips, tricks, techniques, anything at all motorcycle related, please let me know. I do these videos for you, so anything that you would like to see, I am more than happy to do it. If you like this video, please click that thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and click the bell to notify you whenever a new video drops. Thank you again. Ride safe and keep the rubber side down.